Yes, look. It's already covered the street. It's all snowing right now. And who ever think that I would be living? Who'd ever thought that I'd be living in the Pacific Northwest of all places? You know, I kind of had a feeling that I would actually. I kind of felt like I had a feeling that I would be living in a place like this. If you ever really hang your body on the thing of, or much less believe in synchronicity, you probably know what I'm talking about. The reason why I'm doing part of the video, today's video, starting off in this, like, look, that's really good snow, and I made the biggest mistake touching the snow with my bare hands. Probably should be wearing gloves. I don't think my shirt is all buttoned up, which is a very bad thing. And I just wanted to show some of the weather. Out here. It'll be great when my sister comes out here. It'll be great when my sister comes out here to just visit, because then, yeah, I wish that my late brother-in-law could have been able to come out here, because I think he would have liked it out here. And there's Mozilla, Montana out there. Yeah, I'm walking currently in Mozilla. So, and there's the local elementary school, if you can see it, Chief Charlo. I'm just out here walking, and speaking of Chief Charlo, that will probably lead us into the topic that I will be talking about when I get back home. I haven't even taken a piss, so that'll be rather interesting. And see, that's Missoula, Montana at night. It's essentially Missoula, Montana at night. It's 6 o'clock right now. And I think the video, it's right now 6 o'clock. You can see my breath, of course. And before my hands freeze to walk back home, because I think this video will be fun, and I'll probably be editing out any kind of words that I used. I want this video to be pretty PG, at least when it comes to the YouTube side of things. Maybe even the BitChute side of things would be like the YouTube. But this is why you don't go outside without gloves. And I mean, Montana winters are infamous for being rather brutal on your hands. As you can see, my hands are probably already starting to freeze. To go through this video and remove any kind of cuss words or any words like the one I just used, even though I don't think that word is too bad. You never know. And then after I take a shower, it'll be great. And all that. And now that we're home, that I am home, I can now talk about the subject that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about today, and it has to do with working with it has to do with politics in the workplace. Let's see, 40, and let's see if I can bring up the thing that will actually give me a framework about talking about this particular subject. See if I can find the thumbnail of the video. I'm going to be using that as my basis. Of course, that would be 2004 Louisiana Purchase. Jefferson nickel, there we go. And now I can actually talk about it. But of course, from your perspective, you'll be seeing this nickel. And of course, I have my ever so trusty quotation of the Kabbalion. Very. Now, I want to talk about politics and religion in the workplace. Why I think it's fair if Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives equally followed this rule of Christians and atheists and so on and so forth. Well, followed this rule of not talking about religion in the workplace, religion, politics in the workplace. The reason why is that is a private matter, and that's only something you share among the closest of your friends. Like, I'm sure Thomas Jefferson didn't talk about his views of Christianity openly, mainly because he knew he'd be ridiculed for it. I mean, that man was a lot wiser than many people, let alone politicians nowadays. You know, he was the kind of man that considered, that basically didn't go out of his way to cancel people. Like, he understood people have their views. He may think they're bullshit, but he may think they're nonsense. But in the end, he just didn't. He was not the kind of man that. He probably was a decent human being. I have to think that he was a pretty decent human being. Wouldn't have canceled anyone. Because of some belief, because he understood that most of politics and definitely religion is opinion. You know, if I can't talk about my viewpoints without being ridiculed, then I don't feel that the other people should be allowed to do so either. I feel that it's much more respectful, it's much more inclusive that neither side do so in the work environment, whether it be like most definitely a college, because most colleges are going to be probably liberal, you know, or even a school, a public school, because, you know, I feel that if one person allows to say they're liberal, is allowed to talk about their far left liberal politics. I mean, what does that? How does the conservative that's working there feel? Well, they feel alienated about that, and I'm not saying that this happened that I've seen this happen, but I'm sure it has happened. I'm sure it has happened, and this is why I want to work to not talk about politics in the work environment, because I look at it from what I want for myself. I want to not feel alienated. I want to not feel alienated about it, and that's just how it is. So, in order to get what I want, I will do my part not to talk about this stuff, so that way those people won't go, hey, you weren't talking about your viewpoints. I'm using, and by the way, I'm using the liberals thing because because I live near a liberal city, a little city called Missoula, Montana, and I just wanted to use that as an example. It's not like conservatism, like not like it's a big deal to be a conservative here, because Montana is mostly pretty conservative place to live, which is what I kind of wanted, was a mostly conservative place with some liberal cities. I'm fine with that, as long as you're not a as long as you're not a fringe leftist. Which, yeah, I really can't stand the fringe left. You know, I'm just not a huge fan of social of fake social justice warriors. Basically telling me that I'm a racist, sexist, homophobe, even though I'm probably the least of any of those things that one could ever think about. After all, I'm one of those people who appreciates the more finer things, who appreciates like the figure of a man or the figure of a woman. I might be telling people a little bit more about me, but maybe I'll talk more about that at some point, but I'm not going to really do it here. But I really consider politics, religion, and philosophy to be to be a very personal thing that you only share with very few people. And if you do share some of that stuff, it's got to be pretty tame stuff that everyone universally agrees with anyway, for it not to be offensive, or for people to take too much of an offense. I hope you found this video to be enlightening, and I'm out to just do more stuff that I need to get done. Peace out.